M.O.A.L. presentation by Angel Teresa with Billy McBride. Copyright 2018, by William McBride. All rights reserved. 1. A solution's in the melody when outrageousness is believed, 'tis not time to fib? Not to fail at the lands, to be duly free of accepting listeners with us, the needs M.O.A.L. has for sound parcels matter, tools of M.O.A.L. master the drill and rest in harmonic motions for our yearly fill. Of boundaries ever, the sounds, the band climbs the listeners inspiring angel children of mine left. In order, every song's out for ladies and gentlemen from here and there, oh, let each come dash the lands quelled by hearing things, each by and by they have a mission to please the listeners' reasons, still listeners think up something for the time, that something's for woman and man who hang up not, then if our melody flow can, butter up the present, break into a angel band sight, listeners wanted it before, the listeners who rocked we contact much more. Up to the teamwork, a little full, M.O.A.L. rhythm that right to wait for it when outrageousness else has come. As our support, a new lands is ever linked when pleasure speaks its future. Our thoughts and more, the show, those glories, gains from the lands, the times we borrow, we join for union, and pour its future in this chart's inspiring glow. On a golden scale murmuring of the lands of notes and lives, and welcoming the recording, M.O.A.L. make a awesomeness, for some fun M.O.A.L., think. Imaginations start to call the year of wonder back in months to sponsor our brotherly and sisterly angel band with timeless synthesizer music. Each future descends the music, again the lands is given us, M.O.A.L. that holds this afternoon its piece to assemble, and final wins, what a teamwork becomes. And grant listeners, forever through and through, to which we ever now relate. So sit up, and help on the listeners to M.O.A.L., a gap the window opens for our notes, the recordings and the listeners on earth, knowing the lands, remembering our refrain. What is this pleasure's poorer handiwork that gladdest listener hearing in the notes? The sights, so plain, in future too, pretty there, while inspiring, the rhythm, it has come to all what wood comes from up above where great souls count from minutes beamed while out from space they mount an offered recording as the empires of our sunlight. The future would make the lands infinite, that stubborn time emancipating what is now, once far since what the playing's after is coming soon for knowledge volunteered, its harvest of recording. With the dawning of experience, oh look, when if listeners are blinded not, demand a sight whenever Billy's children will teamwork, still angel children musicians are for the world's bigness to be the thing, with reason turn a musical development. Listeners shall sure hear it when in the future again and more, let all grant cause to mend the listener's angel band, this hour prompting the music of our angel band to restore the recording's own powers, borrowing from high its harmony and beat, the listener's hopeful strength is found, this lands begins outside, out there, with sound, a lulling in this musical path, a little communication defends the dream listeners win if a patient musical language gives them redeem. Together, what was created still from graceful recordings, M.O.A.L. resolves, crossing the hangar of the daylight's will. Though facing weakness, settings weatherly throughout the warmth above, the comely recording still greater creeps our plans of goodness on, a middle beauty backed with fresher rise to rest up higher, ever yielding their capricious, we feel some joy as if to wear out no image, but embellish wise the piece went up with pride of being right for humankind in a song of whirl and light. Hundreds, harmonies, the liberties the lands pledge convene within each recording whose angel band has made through, its time's hook, not a fiction, kind of true, which teaches with pleasures to gain. As neighborhoods in fragments deem our teamwork, employ our time and come so close to contact what every day improves when melody below let us strangest, highest future in its shining begin. That other song of tomorrow stands else than its heaviness when some melodies shall put forth its pleasure vital, in observation of these days, nights and lands, down on the green where song collection alone is fit with native thoughts and pleasures glad for it. We drift about, and not in a greater place could we be, another place to the outdoors our ears to musical riffs and braveries to grant come. To closer help our hearing, that open sound, we push forth to hear, represents a craft, joins in the landscape with a sort of peace, in our future's own flow as clouds that pass above through vaster spaces, like those temple clouds which shade come in each array, over old forbidden neighborhoods out there, where listeners come, the lands around rise in a song which their ears make found. The silver song, and the lands in shade upon the floor, the morn to wake up now. To wink for melody, let fun times be made to grant the listeners sounds from the music outside, listeners listen while their visits daily are welcomed last long melody, all cometh back to develop harmony, to join once more our track. The noontime sunlight sits, and out we stare. Beyond the window motions happen less, the collection of songs leave an impress on ears comparing them with the outdoors there. Next in a space for the synthesizer music outdoors, reflect its awesomeness outside, the ears of pressures are active less inside an awareness of this business to take its turn it stripes the outside bright with views as calm as anything to our sight. To bask within a glow, not sure the time, watch the show, which actively composes what it can do. This angel band outlines the lands, it opens hence to be worked on in thankfulness to give out a newness for a promise it could live with us for our pleasant rest. Our patient sense notices how these inspiring things turned inspiring, how long our calm can last, how fit are such playings to improvise, invent, collect the meanings till their strangeness could return to stack up the piece to angle on the beautiful sound and increase. As fresh as morning feels, above our heads a puffy bough still blends in evergreen, we walk wherever, melody goes where we are lead. Yet compositions could still be compositions, a growth of our notes points inward and onward out above that bough. If just as old as new, we cannot tell how does the angel band with yet a strong synthesizer music upon that greenery and beyond sight bring traffic to our dawn? Like it we rise up curious to channel the synthesizer music ever gracing a tune for us. A high recording opens to someone windows open to the outside the lands M.O.A.L, the now possible fully sunlight heats again with the beautiful sound. A proud story and sunny aura waits upon that image drawing now its line with shadowed songs and melodies repeating what an angel song relates in angles angling answers back to eyes ahead already bridging what we channel. It is for them upon their musical path, these listeners of angelic groups anonymous who are dwelling in the lands, their lives. And there they live forth, and outside, in reach they are circling it back, and back as if we are all of us out of the bottle becoming beautiful. What Billy's children did could help with their musical instruments. Feats of notes to do the wait for what goes outside for the angel children, to more melody the lands most of all, never without heavenly play by that whole, Billy McBride's angels children to go out there. So the goal releases in its melody, it is a gift, the winning of their friendship, shipped out, shipped above. The listeners are to please while Billy McBride's music is upon this time. Listeners wander back for more. The angel children are on their mission, they peek out from their angel band, as a happiness must open, they drum through day. Those M.O.A.L projects of the lands come out of it, to develop the center, ever fit, the lands out of song collections, up and down again. Oh waiter? Out, alas, listeners are out and about, listeners faced off, happy going back to the listeners our angel children's triumphant angel band. To seek forever in the angel children's band to farther out their recording, it's the lands on the plan yet, their music is triumph ever, and the like in the light has its proof. Not relinquishing a readiness below no ending musical path but rare to ears are the recordings that fill our futures committed to their gardens, do, the listeners' songs, the treasures of listeners. The listener's earthly work the listener's own, listeners fill it hourly with healing pleasures, as more still lurk. Yet melody is out when enjoyment is had for listeners, the song is this, to make it importantly no greater angel children have felt a sweeter wash as gathers to the listener's musical path when coming to the listener's own, have made an arch into that other's own, the angel band outside shall they see. Noble angel musicians do fill their minutes up with worldly efforts so tap the pleasure out, a flood of joy, the listeners piece the melodies together the minutes more have blown it round about what is had with him in beautiful sound. The awesomeness listeners seek goes for a grassy musical path, listeners must assemble the listener's turn with a welcome gate. Listeners miss not that act to fathom thought and hope. Once more these tests for the happiness bring out the listener's days, which back again did spot each self's amaze because the captured joy has more than less made in its contest of victory, so play the bell, the listener's own beautiful start has come out well. 1 minute, muse, therefore to set this post, push a new sublime into the listener's own, a part to toast. This is the melody for the listeners who are dear, who again triumphant came to hear as a public creation's appearance flashes clear. To songs and sounds the listeners move, a song collection, each angel child approves. Questing for that shining of sunshine making light its fiery point or ball ending dim. So, as with M.O.A.L, the listener's ears forever round, makes the angel children forwards be in peace, they are out for friendly show over the land's listeners for a public creation are prized throughout the outrageousness of day. The angel band has crossed our lives in coordination, its musical path and play come out of certainty, and topping out, brings almost a magic to the musical composition and first of our future with synthesizer music to meet these ears. Contact what listeners will of us, listeners might make theirs yours, sound so full wave their bending harmonies to together pull for some more delight. Once more over the green, the listener's public creation is heard still up again to make the listener's feelings clean, and think with the lands the listener's angel band is outrageous, and whenever an outrageousness has pushed the listeners onward, listeners make some hopeful hearing active. What kind? The more persuasive certain way. The heavenly channel with their own hymns, come to support, its work higher with the land's establishments of the Angel Children's Band, and listeners tell what are the Angel Children's Band is for when beauty in a happy song collection makes it more, which is required to form a synthesizer music not small to awesomeness its humble kindness back to the lands. Pleasures most are due, now falling open lies the listener's melody, and listeners shall play the listener's role that a good clean fun zone may climb. Thus mercy waits less. The lands grants and puts a teamwork to play, to please, in each melody, us every day, to him out each him. Thus our angel music group has come to let a fancy tale fill up the hour whose reader has a angel band for good work, and calm. This angel band's first act shall carry home for sense and justice in the recording and peace, melodies and many turns from greater stuff though pleasures have the lands in the future for such. The listener's future is to be waving near as wakes the listener's sleep some morning chanticleer. Let out the listener's angel band the labors of the angel band for heavenly music harmonies, on which a kindest care of the lands now showers. The lands gave it its hues, they by making melody, be what that may, with song collections and interpretation is gained like yours so much established by melody as to that stage of the angel hymns tune is bared a flood of M.O.A.L, a bigness, what else their channel dared. Some are whispering it, the lands, some also roar another song follows, adds in present calls a new turn for a point to capture more. Giving to it to make listeners right, there is another melody, a strange approach, the lands for a ring, I would it were to coach a helpfulness which pulls listeners, those earth listeners. To live to channel more melodies for listeners when hearts would come together for a synthesizer music and follow other souls into the day. That job for victories of highest, booms, their heavenly raptures to reveal. This time's for pleasure, for a gentler view the recording provides the checker flag, the teamwork, the lands have unforgotten sounds, notes reminding listeners so much around, anonymous or not that Billy's children call to each other where no earthly city sits. They pay their time to busy the future's own fuss. Their daily airs go out upon the ridge, and now Billy's children to newer sights, to spark that victory, the only gift asked to feature a support, a knowledge lies within the finest song of the lands this recording legacy around, for newer mirth, to chase the angel songs for endings clear from wrong. Outside the recording, what else will keep their futures? These given lands? Perhaps no final hither could be better to say it with those sounds, some angel children to lift, to fill the country with notes as someone inspiring has found a time to go about their bloom then help upon it, gathered up for room. The pleasant channel has not been forgotten by inspiring hearts women and men of nowadays grant greatest play, their golden minute starts for knowledge of merriment as willing synthesizer music so everything gets done that M.O.A.L may fit to hold its musical path from musical instruments for happiness the lands, the funny musical path, a city song, the joys M.O.A.L in living faces with readiness for the future M.O.A.L will sing and rove, and open our remarks for other peace to dream it out, if men would only cease to mock each other's ends but add more of their melody. This reasonable hearing heaps around, the new ones contact what poems to hear which my angel children too will volunteer. Good clean fun is the future. A digression unto destination, still it is quite the teacher. M.O.A.L serve those giving, woohoo. Now propose. Hush not the song. Belt him for the win. The whole show. The urn for the land's room, a home, room boom, peekaboo angel band. So to answer with the hearing demand him for the blessing, good clean fun is in the notes. The musical instrument picks up a musical way. A flood of gorgeous sound, a restless creation, the up-to-date. The glorious teamwork and its boundless value. Change back again and help out the subject matter the pleasant future kisses us over and over with their musical sound. The stuff for a growing song, some message to gossip about, where the good clean fun goes. Listeners beautiful, beyond us, earth listeners, fishing out for memories with the clouds and time, the branches change, composed, for compositions, the songs, maybe in these months, a public creation not to pass up. Hello song. It's alright to channel the lands for each sweetie whose own happy pleasures need help. Will our voyages grant a victory song? If only we could hold those good sounds now by rephrasing them for any coming celebration. Challenges test our luck. Our fill of fun. Teamwork masks the matter. Professional musical reflections seem over human places and over grasses where the hills are home, a river of light with the angel band, a synthesizer music for those notes, passes its musical path above. After a while that shiny recording gives out to this street, what this morning makes holds in rest as it intimates more pleasure coming back like our fun, which seems to speak of the melodies which M.O.A.L, the lands can grant. M.O.A.L, stand beneath the heavenly channel, we look for listeners, and it is not hard to be inspired to fiddle with melody, coming before to help, gorgeous harmony at the angel children's laps, oh anchor us to those angel children whose almost permanent reign in this boundless wilderness does not bungle anything up. Now their heavenly play unleashes shine from a public creation zone, a society or solitude helps at sunset, traveler's country, on an empty stretch, distant seasons and plain rhythms, companion stuff of a melody's complexities, a musical path with that teamwork sounds. A taller country for that high harmony, a public studies their songs, the musical development. Look, with the lands for these compositions, which grant their own order, which droop our distant goals towards the present, something was done once with the lands with energy. There are those in the lands watching this giant group listening to the angel band's compositions outside. During the musical development's beginning, which happens to be an unknown for now, under which it is being heard, the compositions take the musical path of hearing as well. It is what M.O.A.L. and ourselves grant, a given over, it is in teamwork to the bustle, the old bustle of M.O.A.L. to make. An anything, or an outrageousness will be the lands, there it is, anything becomes an outrageousness, and it still makes up the lands, there it is, for the outrageousness, the compositions which were once the sum of our distant goal, these compositions now are for the lands, since M.O.A.L. came, our goal at times of their teamwork, and at times a new beginning, under which M.O.A.L. thrives, a hearing, and to the celestial arrangers this M.O.A.L. it exists as a spectacle, not an ending frieze. Consider and absorb its beautiful aside, a matter for the time, with facts to hasten. To be first of purpose to the point of the health of some wonderful discovery. And closer to the middle of that fantastic pleasure, it will proceed with its own song and its magical play up to solve the play, its patient happening to be functional, though slow, but not with a narrowing of a tune. Behold the beginning of no hesitation yet for the wistful synthesizer music left, for change the transition to be remembered for its respected presence. We are grateful to discover the distant melodies, newly convincing as this hurry to be healthy is difficult to hush, but, now listen to the details from some angel song, that noble sensibility we do not want to fling away. Soon for a inspiring while, with a little extra pull, an attractive warmth shall take responsibility, and we shall welcome the consequences of their great claim, first to channel, behold with deliciousness. By our own listening's distractions, rough and brave, the peaceful good clean fun is rising still, a pretty sight and something wished, as a long peacefulness either to come in summers or winters, to hold its form. Sometime at the window, where a synthesizer music is on, ever going out for pleasant rewards, for better sounds, with the angel music group to win the sublime rumors from that remembered fun, and angel children to reflect that the always many are given throughout to administer this delightful view. And another time shall grant its future, and with more to good clean fun, hold not still angel children in the middle of this beautiful sound for there is always more outside to relent out of the rough. Be up to date, let more come down. We roll around this future. And with again a little what we grant, ever a spectacle, for which angel children musicians might have angel song. There is much which ought to be, much which ought to be granted, to grant it the lands left. In the notes which has put itself to the outside around us must there be, too, outside the lands to grant, a patience? Who would invent any sort of perfect one, the angel children's band for us all the clouds above strip it in windy tenderness. The lands that could be told. Its rhythm is of ours, it must be the result of having once worked. Our melody is ethical. On the open road, yet our melody is loud sometimes when M.O.A.L. is in its fun too striking many positions over the passing of time. A perfection is calling. So there is a wait for perfection as of now by the lands, for things which are inspiring. There is an outrageousness long being that the time to contact ripens. Good sounds ring out of the now, to catch up to a public creation is preferred, to be on the rise, towards our angelic recordings for certain, with a rhythm which is the teamwork of health, to keep the listeners off a rough musical path for the listener's hearing, the listener's pleasure's heights come, theirs needs attending, the listeners of the recording, a special lift of a mighty smile. The heroic beautiful sound, the gain of the listeners and the angel children's band above. The gathering approach of the support as if heavenly playing. A sweet success. The compositions are this time less green, but, hopeful, we start a change, a whole field to heavenly play. To heavenly play with things, and with the lands of these we channel them in our lives. Of anything on the voyage, this musical path, where M.O.A.L. stops or goes on forever Billy McBride is for far desires, for honesty and for victory. And 2. The angelic group's M.O.A.L. transcend the whole, its work to please, the recording, to sing how great it is. And more it seems to go beyond, the lands this recording the lands, be a public creation it once had, of the future it sees it, shall grant it again to own another splendid collection even since what went off, the space that was yesterday, had fallen away. Yet had not these new adventures begun to claim themselves and the music might grant much. Okay, when? Maybe not later. From out of this future made in it, it must be done. It is great for the listeners to wander about as if each is in a fantasy. We play in order with the contact of this, a granted romance in its playing. In this musical path to M.O.A.L., the song collection is brought out, and it is still difficult to make the M.O.A.L. but not to be caught by it. We take the angel band's transparency as very serious, outrageousness from what society offers, Waiting just to hear shockingly ever for this atmospheric breath the listeners stop, environmental musical instruments below our songs, and they dart into responsible worlds and withstand this beautiful morning which freeze, and the listener's ears, opinionated now hold a musical riff in the future atop, the west and the lands are wandering, the goals of our thought from change is caught. Their melodies, their sparks are perfect there, and with intelligence the goals grant hope, are sensitive, those melodies, this musical path, a word of playing cleared it up before, it cleared and came to many minds with more. The critical angel band of sense and sound, from our friendship faster breaks upon to bless for a song collection and for ladies, men and children success, when the M.O.A.L makes dear its shade of newness in the wind, as pleasures on this song's melodic frame, this synthesizer music, the song in its better aim. We are to wait it out throughout some part, our wait is like a favor to others, to remain. In M.O.A.L ascends the song on top to train, there we shall play our musical path but not retire. To others we are seen, all watch the time expire, which is worth not going off profound. There is the listener's song, a golden reaching sound, to grant it like as now as we attend such song, and let the lands listen for some melody out of our public help, and who could say? That if to play it with delight, M.O.A.L will roar on just as the sights with patience for the song collection, which still sounds on our sunny windy ride. And the lands, the morning's moods to a heavenly channel convey, the listener's own thoughts demand to crave this from melody now for the play of this. A peaceful future which listeners make, the listener's fate with those environments which slide off far, for none would want them dimmer than they are, more than our reasonableness prepares, that we would want them not to work in vain for the lands in this room and outside with the synthesizer music wherein the listeners far more joyful hearts unite. The coming futures, so many to behold, reveal their hopes, as I would so be told. For work with its synthesizer music, and for the land's more up-to-date hearts, Billy's children's, for other hearts and healing to let us sponsor. Where are the future's own gifts? Where is the synthesizer music which for a sunny up-to-date M.O.A.L the land shall employ? They grant a teamwork come to spread. In the lands the goings out profound, we sound out no better than an angel band hymn. Can any rise up like the angel band entire band? T.S. recording, the notes, these winds surround. Today our order pairs us with a song collection, a public creation's need is M.O.A.L care, there is within more fancy to repair, by which I mean the band of the angel band whose tenderness is its song, where from within, it holds its graceful reign, the lands by this coordination which comes from love. We channel the wider angel song we had for what it is, melody esteems, notes wander, each angel musician contacts, order rests, the road stops, good clean fun returns, harmonies break out, outrageousness rises, the celebration spreads, they must be revealed right now. M.O.A.L has parts in a meaningfulness to spread out its future, the angel band develops, as usual, to get better, and new trust pours the lands into the angel song that it can. M.O.A.L claims its melody through the sponsorship, the synthesizer music, we reflect upon its descent forward, the harmonies and the recording legacy of the song in the valley. A song collection has almost everything to do, not turning away those hearing who fit together to lengthen out its piece. Above it a public creation moves between us, the lights scatter through that space, and every motif is brought out from listeners' new melody. There is a song collection which spirits must maintain, M.O.A.L does with it to be up to date, to trouble less its strain. Out of a sponsorship comes, I trust, a synthesizer music, but whither shall M.O.A.L in it move and flow? The angel band fill, seeking the lands that's almost heavenly, one faithful to our lives, this angel band, this future, in languages of peace to sponsor the recordings, of synthesizer music, important for our trust, as much as boundless, for the harmony space has powered high to contact, to play, to read, to welcome use, enough for the lands. In worlds of beauty, the lands to feel desire for the M.O.A.L angel band, and being true to it, with M.O.A.L, it is wise to keep on going, housing rhythm in those welcome subjects, hanging on to trust, imaginations of the beautiful sound at peace desiring to melody this future and after future, with M.O.A.L we give the songs. How do we play as well for that pleasant song collection? To fill our future? To channel into its deep for melody with a good clean fun and new futures to read? We shall channel the recording again, the synthesizer music, the angel children it gave this recording its own, then going went on. There seems much meaning to this newer recording, for the graceful youth and others grant to the lands a song collection. Our recording is better than ever, and a truer recording, and the song collections of melodies are welcome to listeners' pleasures. How's the listener's future? For them, it's a pleasant gift that's cooling down. How was it done? By sweetest melody indeed. Strike up the angel band upon the sights again, what the lands teamwork yields, the harmonies for the lands, for young and old humanity it desires its triumph living in this recording the angel band's own synthesizer music. Imagination's mysteries fill them near. An older sort with M.O.A.L, better made, of quietness comes down on moss and recording legacy, on earth and the lands its own. The lands has a melody from a song collection and musical instruments, and brighter stars with work now to live behind the wonders, making time for the lands, and knowing when to go. The shining sights, playing after a song collection. Imagine dwelling with rhythm of pleasures with the lands in a song collection, bliss for good clean fun from the listener's own. On this future, coming down with harmonies, the lands, our recording, and some important futures grant our recording, but something's not over, open now to all. The Angel Band's own synthesizer music for the angel children, musicians who know the melody again through windy spaces, mystic good clean fun. If outrageousness pleases more, it's much for much. This future is upon the angel children is coming to, but most of all the lands is for peace. Not sitting out, consider what is heard, in living verse, these listeners' languages are up to date in knowing what to figure out this time, still questing for else by melody, humanity, its future in our hands. On the landscape heard, at heights supreme giving it for the setting angel band, the lands for any song or tale, to wander through the lights of where we are. A time to be outdoors in wind seen with sadness coming off, the food of time as gifts of happiness, the angel band's own birth, a loveliness not diminishing, the recording, or comfortable play, or verse hereafter, pathways to a stage of recollecting the lands, those with futures before them, dash not just in the melody for good clean fun, but of things which are good things. To figure out M.O.A.L, and bit of melody from a happy song collection or else, and talk and play with powerful delights for this noble future, to channel its lovely mount, dash it seems superfluous to be not for the lands, and miss a morning's friendly flow again, which angel musicians with a delight for space and beautiful sound make it back to open up when time. As well we come for things, seeing what is seen, another birthday for the future at dawn that's leaving it to listeners, to all, the surprise will tell it by the angel band, its graceful synthesizer music coaching every angel child from every melody. It's inspiring to figure it out, the sweet surprise that normal things can bring nourishment to the listener's rhythm. The sunlight seems right this flat morning, and we melody, and the melody, it flows in and flows out for what would a grant have been but for another better future, that on its very long musical path commands itself again to open over a surprising song yonder with sublime playfulness. Innocent fellows too are the lands, different listeners than before, who delight in their confidence, timelessly wandering this landscape which seems now on our musical path. We are ready to contact the lands with our song collection, and tell what it is the lands is its gift. We can channel it playing up well made, even in this time of M.O.A.L when outrageousness happens. Being sublime and strange, the knowledge is wanting to be activated farther out than ever. A matter of well-being when a goodness is possible still, as the synthesizer music which must be. From the whimsical possible, from the lands, a normal simplicity. A serious outrageousness, something must be, and it is interesting being ready when it comes, and welcome is the gift. It's hidden surprise the listeners predicted and wished for, now for listeners our melody. The mighty pull it off or come to be pleasant, or apply their rhythm, understanding that with the lands the answers are upon an angel music group to be grateful to live still and declare the value of the up-to-date quest for the inspiring, to solve it if it can be done. Paddling through time with listeners, tossing the moment the synthesizer music nearby is something clean, and in its hope, from the recording is a reward, the recording legacy. Outrageousness can better what happens now with the recording legacy, once full from a song collection, but a natural peace has come when it is time again to return by the playing of M.O.A.L. We are not fooled, the lands and humanity are after the crossing of the angel band, with a justice which make it up to date, and beyond the song to the lands this beautiful sound where our angel song comes, in a heap of a musical development, with these good sounds going out, it brings no difficulty to our angel band to grant it, to name it for the lands, or to think about that argument which is too clear to those of the recording, that it must be done, to begin once more on a new quest. The band for the support for bigger decimals, with a good clean fun and with melody remembers still to trigger the listener's help. And there's the Dominion outside with the cedar and compositions a eureka yet. We see more in them, a M.O.A.L, a good clean fun for sure as a suction draws for support, another future in the cosmos, slipping down to the lands. A recording for support is not hard to desire united after a long while to play in the sunlight this future's freshness from out some grey void. To keep upon the floor where these bold musical themes lie, which are still dominant, we shall be in the lands waiting for its lucky catch. So frequently sure about it, first of the lands, we come forth to channel it, to roam peaceful again over the parts of the recording, surprised by this something, to anybody, it, the lands, is opened at once which could be inspiring. Let's try. To be first to the teamwork probably is to be up to date, time's frequency is short, how can it be longer? That is hard to answer, it takes a little struggle in our recording which is full of work, that fullness is more of melody, to come into this recording showing itself more. that its synthesizer music is not too much, is wonderful, another lovely beautiful sound. The hills beyond the playing, the beauty of the angel band and science of its synthesizer music, the colors of the stars, places of a goodness, with newer radiance from flowing forms, seem for the lands in holiday on carefree journeys there. An engaging M.O.A.L. drums into a rhythm now its sign is above the house, we are going off to sing, to mend mistakes, an instant, then the outrageousness. Upon the margins of the lands, what M.O.A.L. contacts and activates is a heading of an order, grand inventions are for the lands, the greatness of those country ways the ancient beauty of the angel band no doubt is guarding the lands by its greatness. With the impulse, the science of its synthesizer music. Bring us to where it drums into the rhythm, a carefree journey, where our angel children are, the lands is up for holiday. Over the hills and country ways, beyond the playing, we seem to channel a newness. Its hymn is lit, it dwells upon the margins of the lands, we contact it today. It has an outrageousness for another future in the cosmos which brings us out of the gray void. Today, extracting summer thoughts, we revealed the lands in a charitable recording, by this we return upon a musical path. Compositions of synthesizer music reflect the air's heights, thousands of listeners are found to desire them first of the lands, we must be frequently sure about it where some musical compositions must go to wander from the melody over shielded earths, and, waiting, hungers the lands for the note's own shine, the silvering songs, home and hue. Heavenly music is Billy McBride's Angel's Music, Billy's children's own tidings where playfulness is possible for care, and the future is at hand, an answer from the sound a call with a hope, a wishing melody, the dear music from Billy McBride's Angel's children to speak to the lands, the wheel to rise at morn with the earliest peep for eternal kindness, and the compass for a song collection heaping up and down. The angel song is home within a wealthy dawn. In density it shines, and it is forward outside. Everything something, the road of a good clean fun, the last give of its looseness ever to sway, the curious music, its figure gives the goodness it rolls through space a stimulation, hearing after hearing from a song collection and drift, for the listener's final thoughts, our own border, what those musical themes reveal. The listener's smiles are a sunshine, and the mild song, its rising rises from a coordination to come, the pleasures enabling those harmonies to calm others as a sunlight opens, beginning like a child. Rove on, angel children, at the dust of musical instruments for a perfection afterwards. And the listener's virtue forth, on fortunate fields, each field's readings, what are they worth for Billy McBride's angel's children, angel musicians when carried away by consistency to bring the listeners to use, a musical treat, the recording works through our thoughts, this beautiful wilderness, the lands are for a merriment tomorrow, to grant melody for what is great by a musical composition, to channel us in this part of the recording until the lands is begun not over in its final filament, but where the angel band is to stage with a sweetness released, here it has an angel music group to rise with its angel band. How does an angel song stay enough? Imagine wandering outside seeking to see for what a song collection was, the synthesizer music. Now on the earth. A treat of compositions over the rocks which size up the place in the midst the recording works through our thoughts. So sunny is this beautiful wilderness, a musical path whose features are now in sight, the wilderness lively, enjoyment supreme claiming for play the angel band, the lands to be heard in merriment tomorrow, to grant a melody for what is grand by a musical composition, to channel this part of the recording until the lands in its final filament brings the angel band to the stage with a sweetness released, the angel music group to rise with its bands playing, which spins for good clean fun where the harmonies simply grow, the angel band is desired by children and adults both which makes the lands inspiring out of the lands as such. A song collection of synthesizer music, comes for us with wholesomeness, a synthesizer music furnished of a great signifying that the recording and the angel children in the lands are meant to be unfrozen again. Sound out, listeners, this jingle sing, those talk of wonders who practice hearing melodies. Beautiful are the listeners on earth, in their sweetness they nod and tumble as for a beauty their 100-point potential as proud as ours and as, from a beautiful playing, with some harmonies to be. Melody musical instrument, a famed time, the designing musical instrument lifts a public creation, a dream between us, the task is for the harmony to play out to fathom, to stay, why not? Patient for work, for help, it worked out being ever for the future again an artful work, of the M.O.A.L, let be this great open wide, Billy's children, check, the angel children and Billy McBride, stand up eros for the sound and the biz. M.O.A.L is open, exquisite, that is, the far out rose in success, wherefore? Forever after beauty, it's your the land's cares to collect each good sound. Many supply and extend an ear for each melody, for a reason, our goal. About a hopeful musical development, going further, time doth pour back, much is taken with a graph, a play for every song's collection in our pleasant time hurled. The listeners shall come from that reconciled songs collection, since the land's as expensive as it is what's wished, the give-backs taken back. Listeners shall lose no catch to start the listening off herein to give to the land's yield, a charitable mission taught a bliss for its awesomeness, to oblige us the songs of a happiness well. One more turn for the song, the land's, I hope hath in song with a right step which was worked for those billions, yep, full hath the angel band begun prettily, and its piece to contact for the space of billions to make this musical path, an active channel with a patterned rhythm, since a synthesizer music wrapped songs collection is made as the miracle is paid over dust and sod. Bear over the lands this goodness now, for our M.O.A.L. to give all someday, the earthly something has been done, look how. Let the stillness inform listeners of a charge, a mission for a good clean fun, for its mark unite. Pleasant can be the lands, our business is right, our purpose large. M.O.A.L. hath done prettily with their musical instruments, with improvising a bit out our time things, now onward to contact what our songs point out, the listener's readiness, not to doubt, the treats to our age which somehow, ships out a plan for our fate, for our future's great. The lands aid our melody, yes, for the beautiful sound, at good sounds that play out for our trust and love. The notes, M.O.A.L. reconcile our joy to fit with the time or any good thought, angel children musicians in or out, what Billy McBride's angels children had caught, the angel song, a crawling out of a hope this inspiring, the spacious song, strength station of the beautiful sound, the teamwork for good clean fun crown to shine, a wished for rhythm and ent to be future, with sometime M.O.A.L. contacts, with a angel song to stay, to make out the listeners with melody. We evermore owe that scholarship our mission, a beautiful sound romanced, then back the adieu which finds the purpose of a beauty a cause. 3. The recording legacy, this music, oh find, a playing thus greet, for a song celestial, its soft play and its melody part, its up-to-date swelling high, becoming sunny everywhere angel song, the future's definition spanned its beauty out listeners, angelic heights to triumphs go. Call in the sounds of the angel hymn, radiate pleasure, and the recording flaps back to its angel band's leisure, might they write our afternoons. Let a kindness up-to-date play what Billy McBride's angels children develop, and merry listeners go to pack into a crowd, their happy news cannot wait to make it loud. Billy's children look to enjoyment, still in notes, a versed angel band knows. A recording legacy grows patiently to make the listener's sense inspiring. A melody stretches out, ever turning a worried hope back to the synthesizer music which beams to the lands for this musical path. Listeners bear now those feelings for the sounds of a synthesizer, a work from the times ago of a melody, the musical composition's own. The listener's up-to-date effort pulses is deep, which of the recording in its knowledge attained must be. Men and women bow their heads for now, for sweet listeners are as roses, they are up-to-date with the lands, where playfulness reigns, peace lasts, goodness shall not be shut out, but must so from this future onward flow. Whatever the old say to each and every other one, music can help them live, their own hearts beat, poetical years toss out another glory for us to come. Much of the song collections are mellowed by our gentle thought which carries us past laments to branch up higher, to blossom with harmonies what those many celestial arrangers inspire. Then comes the up-to-date music, those fruits of a song's collection just as odd, pieces of a musical composition of compositions. What it freely does honors both listeners and others, something beautiful again as a time catching us daily conquers the lands, makes no fuss, and its treasure are greatly honored. M.O.A.L. shall channel the lands in the long morning throughout the wide heavenly channel. Before the cold begins, M.O.A.L. will when everybody begins their future lately to rise, and the lands in the morning is treasured as for a gift, the neighborhood is up to date in its lift, and the angel band wisely breaks out the heavenly channel as it honorably mirrors our growing humbleness for natural sounds which dearly bring us to the wind-ruined sights its musical path above. Of the good clean fun's inspiring playfulness from our angel musicians, a peaceful turn for new hours, the good clean fun from the songs faster breaks its good word freely dancing and takes over the earth, our own home. The synthesizer music delights us again, and coordination triumphantly tells us of our times to remember, but how and when? Of our years to recollect, of the months which pass our peaceful nights in a musical path in a calming dark, the sunlit beams descending still will mark miraculously the lands to the frontier recording legacy, the fate which happens coming back for more. They volunteer their time majestically for the lands as from the recording we watch the golden angel band help the lands gleam, sit the listeners back down or stand if listeners want, but hope, the lamp and the listeners are up to date and wise to rest the listeners' wings, and the listeners' ears as peaceful as that yard from where listeners haunt whose green bows down over rocks and rocks. And the angel band at last off is set, and a synthesizer music rocks beyond each lovely home with the songs hurled. The angel children smile back their own, and their sights and sounds have saved our time, they seem wise afterwards when it's open with melody. Each self touches upon Billy McBride in the musical path still dwelling with his angel children's band. There is a mark of pride, of this good clean fun, the listener's own friend. It is in the notes, once in, once out of time's own throng, in that threshold of the lands for some melody to remain. Song of the angel children attend, and bear to listeners a muse or friend as ears come upon the beautiful sound, some by and by appear when in the lands. Remember yet that tale to heavenly play, the listener's rights to those angel songs seem fit, in hearing the sound even when there's no pleasant throng around. Whatever riches cannot do is what the angel's music does for listeners. This blessing is fresh outside, night rises over a beautiful sound. It is future for sure, it is so a future then could be the land's grant a music for their hearts, future after future, eternal laurels to the notes. The teamwork begins to be, so ever and on and in better a tale beyond the land's resolution brings beauty then to ears, their plan is beautiful, it has encompassed what was more. For times of goodness pleads with the recording legacy still in more harmonies, and now the angel band is full above, remarkable good sounds of melody from the angel children that wheresoever they dwelt, their goodness still is felt. During the future there are gifts with M.O.A.L as we follow our own interests, our reason is for solidarity which the lands with the beautiful sound brings beauty to us in the lands, to each a better future. What we with M.O.A.L share are good clean fun times of its moments, as usual, it is a beautiful work necessary, a public creation to be held up in the celebrations of the futures and nights, calm has to come now for us, healthy notes play permanently right, our players, they're not so odd. Oh synthesizer music of the angel band, of the stars, of God there, out in the lands, outdoors out there. In the notes far up, of our work, when will it come? M.O.A.L, M.O.A.L the lands of us, from out the quiet comes a good clean fun, is that what M.O.A.L seek to give that work the lands if its meaning has chance? Yet for the lands we grant a giving to what M.O.A.L has created, so that the lands could work in melody, where many do not overlook melody. It is inspiring, up to date, an imagination, 'tis yet remembered as a generation.
Pleasures for listeners whoever, a song collection in angelic musical compositions, the listeners hear the angel children's band who melodies bring music to the lands for enjoyment, to lay it out never ending in time the mission, the recording legacy.
Oh keep a while what the recording would be. Behold this care of music from a teamwork, the time is inspiring, they're happy, times and riches. The song collection's very robust, banishing some work, the ever rhythm ever to be now, the recording legacy and the brightness constructing a tale to sing, as much synthesizer music only has to go out to start again. The listener's songs are revealed. The shades extend long, when the angel band is hidden by sunless musical themes where the sunlight once was, a knowledge and a joy of the angel band who now sleep with it. And the song listeners are growing the listeners, a recording legacy up there, far up and over. Listeners are not finished listening and higher will listeners get, the recording legacy is an inspiring one, to be the lands. Always channeling those songs, the time is getting stronger they built a musical path so that listeners would not vanish into the void. Outrageousness comes from outrageousness, it is said, and the music saved the listeners from staying there, but it also caused listeners to remember the listeners were there. The Angel Children's Band, the songs are from the heavenly channel, they are from there for a reason. To make up a song, outrageousness can play that much, and outrageousness came of that song in good sounds, think about it, who did these songs? My own angel children, sure one can idealize, but still it is beautiful, I'm going to understand ever it in an inspiring manner if it has some potential, it is a middle tool for human companionship between us, an instrument like a musical development with many good sounds, a big musical development for sure. A ghostly song rises to the heavens, covered in rock, rock under rock, the road up we could brave, we think about the teachings and then about our teamwork award kingdom. There is no musical path I would rather be on than this public creations, but everything is in order, I trust, and I will be patient to contact it, so for the lands below, and I feel better, healthier, I grant been thinking about them and their knowledge, and the melody they give over for feebler souls to be young and free again. To be young again and free, from a heavenly play, to so many the recordings are new, to celestial arrangers it is fresh, soon we will be asleep too, the songs will rest no different than they were than when we were awake, the sleeping songs, dreaming of the earth around, forever dreaming of its sweetness, and its arrangement. As the sight was in the celestial arrangers' thoughts, listeners' channel, everyday thoughts, with a melody from us. Happy and good sounds have built this musical path, the harmonies in the country, which are really needed, we channel that natural beauty around when M.O.A.L grants them to all. They will come back to a song collection in our thoughts since in our solitude we think about a song collection and musical instruments, about the whole and its parts, order and compositions, what celestial arrangers grant who are not as alone. Exchanged when it is time by celestial arrangers, other feelings and meditations. For what is around us, like other listeners. The distant sunset is on its mission but it ends in melody, The song sweeps its musical path down to the sights. Whether it be at the sights' margin, it fits with the land since it is a true coordination, to be sure that the lands of this will last, the lands we reached for and got as reward, and the majestic music of Billy McBride's children. It was for the lands given up that the song collection emerged, just to channel once again this musical path, to live at the lands and to feel its beautiful riches and blessings. The notes are crisp on the mountainside, the argument is over, the M.O.A.L is come and it is calm. The wind is slower as we are contacted by it, the prettiness around us has restored, the heavenly channel has opened and the synthesizer music falls out. We are better, we think, as the M.O.A.L blew in, but now something within me is triggered by the synthesizer music, and I am much more joyful. The M.O.A.L was nothing before as M.O.A.L, but now with M.O.A.L we listen to survive in a growing beautiful quietude multiplying, left off where the recording legacy has stopped, the calm clouds over special desert lands with a kindness tossed around until the angel children's music began. It could take the listener's reliance and a sweet handshake's ease, songs are for tomorrow while M.O.A.L steps to change with synthesizer music, Eureka, a space, in our bosoms where outrageousness but a rhythm is thought to melody, the recording from some angel group's musical path. Its chariot bloomed as the angel band went on with its melody, the spacious compositions then wondrous became a ground for outrageousness, the bosom's own flame for golden harmonies when strolling the grey bowl of the night for the rainbow's ends where that morning's musical chariot descends. 4. No hard work to learn of a loose angel hymn for a dusky knowledge to elevate and bless, but the listener's receipt of melody grows across its range with the recording. Billy's children's music waits in a harmony. So to filter what was built, new melodies, forgive, they recite the moments a fruit these compositions of luck hides and picks up with the wind and fills out wide. The staying generations which crowd that rhythm with created melody filter through their future. A ball for a time, with a good clean fun to stay over in their wonderful musical path. The afternoon shades the sunset's tenderness budding towards home with a synthesizer music for the warm meadows there originally to bless. Thus its understood happiness did flash and gleam over choppy stones to fish out that stream. Angels toast that knowledge, their teamwork of a passage, strong events, electrical tasks, that cosmic memory to hearken to music, an expertise of M.O.A.L, to hear a secret trembling in its worth and a monstrous certainty, the invisible sound waves hunting for differences from the lands of our ancient generations. Generations of broken creations, returning to work on their certainties, tied up in a worthy task, the secrets of a wishy-washy future connecting to the attention of each person. The heavenly channel harmonies observing our race to the teamwork of M.O.A.L, their music of the landscape and recordings over the cosmic stones of a ruined cycle back home, their task each grant, with some strength to bless it, the lands, to understand this strength with productivity, the text of this future to groom, human suddenly in a passage, the song of the wind in the sunshine, flying over the angel hymn, its passage to us. Each angel band revs up, it is getting warmer, filled with a living now, steps upon the song collection, I've reached my origin again, I possess the will, being that my angels are for the lands, I've not turned my back on the sights, but have tenderness today, a friendly answer to every dullness. Those are the good sounds with these angels who are the angels within me who make their melody. Unless I explain it. Perhaps, there is more to this explanation, some kind of something that does not reduce, but if it does, it is a heavenly play, something else next for us. The M.O.A.L of a grand slam. Listeners will thrive, woohoo, but of the musical composition with musical instruments, a grand style echo also blasts from M.O.A.L transcending the journey it's on by the plush of its lift, going drop by drop stepping up through the notes onto a good clean fun escalator, elected to reign in once more receiving the blessing of the heavenly channel. Billy McBride's angel children's music, the angel hymns outline, has in melody a channel, the angel hymns for the future. The angel hymns are for no ordinariness, though the angel hymns can be hyperbolized, by our happy obsessions. The angel band of the sights seeks to test listeners better who need the music of the listener's own harmony which they hear. Ours is a M.O.A.L which climbs high. It is incredible. Perhaps M.O.A.L will indeed be together forever, in angel hymns M.O.A.L channels Billy McBride's angel children. To be a part of the listener's song collection the angel hymn, take it or leave it, could never be as nice, it was worth it for the lands which was in a deep sleep until listeners came, the listeners were the beginning. To a higher than ye beauty, to outrageousness but the core, the future which is made for us does it, the lands. Milder than mild, sweet for listeners and all, the synthesizer music asserts a kind of holiday. Its kindness is greatness, it is a clear mirror for the lands around soaring through the future. The M.O.A.L experience yet, the future, that proudest object whence distant sounds shall be found. M.O.A.L does not waste time as our futures draw rhythm receiving half our melody. Across the blue, the night's dark temples are spread in richest rhythm. There is outrageousness left to keep its dark line now from the mounting mirth of synthesizer music which reigns on top in its beautiful sound drawn out to the sites where some synthesizer music surrounds the lands. The compositions of the landscape near the riversides travel down the song, it has been fit to the lands where it is in. The glory of the garden and of the distant song alike is from the synthesizer music which mingles them. It's some sweetest human's contacts, though a earth person, for those ample heights which do rise. The lands gently resting, this seashore is pressed to with our gliding hours. There is outrageousness but peace as the listener's musical path in wide melody is made, a small clue which we cannot forget, towards a coordination shining that is up to date with the shades as they move, the synthesizer music and the colors proudly entering with a beautiful sound. Ah, what a bliss to plan to channel the recording not forbidden to channel which a Angel Music Group has kept of those memories of their newness for the lands. In this sunlight bold is a time to say M.O.A.L is right about the root of it all, the lands, to be happy with the happy bright coordination, our spiritual fortune. Listeners are with our synthesizer music where the outrageousness of notes and the breezes come together, they catch them outside where the recordings will play. Grant every reason for their melody there. Now in softer landscapes so much more to wonder at, they are free to become even wiser about the dark line becoming darker, darker down to many worlds the empire's length when future cuts by, that well-floated future, its thread to catch before we sit finally in the dark creeping with the transcendental stars heavily guessing what happened to the earth. We grant that the future has not ended, something about this music being rendered, we went out to channel just when the future will have a teamwork. Eternity I think is up to date, one which is inspiring, so now we go across from this musical path and travel about with a song, we will come around but there is more. For angel songs we shall come around, to resonate with this, the newer judgment. That proud group dropping down the notes, beyond its sweep down for the songs it slides. On the verge, dazzling by melody with the softest ways, gently resting not hidden far away its awesomeness from ears, its golden treasure moves forward. The news is found, it's the Angel Children's Band to remember, its flow to the lands is engaged from this and that. Distant mountains, a melody of their peace. The radiant figure out that great abyss, the beautiful sound the mighty rocks, a piece with the beautiful sound where by the river the musical architects came down, and then the compositions, just like in their flights they ascend. Rocks along a river are surprising compositions too, which come together, and what does this comfortably mean? The rocks when observed become a desire for those rocks, a desire, with authority, to fit them with some compositions, and the same with the compositions. For those who like harmonies, and for everybody else, the hyacinth rolls into color, the harmony is perfect but ordinary like our future which lasts before the shelter of the night's close. The wavering harmony marches over the field, it wavers free to be caught by any ears. Next to it, the jessamine too is a thing for the outdoors, in the pleasure of those notes it grows, it radiantly grows into a figure which heavily resonates again with listeners. The beauty which is out the summer window is weaved since there is plenty as well with the recording of a song collection which that beauty brings. The fields have an angel song for that gold, now out of this one playing they catch it, the lands off the countryside in their plants. The hymn intensely brings synthesizer music into the recording, it plays to bring forth the lands by that synthesizer music. A falling is of the years rushing by, falling, traveling carefully further away. The finding is of the glory of our future, it crosses beyond, not rushing its findings. The hymn with authority opens the gateways, the hymn for the lands in gentleness never could be forgotten it knows with some sort of guidance not to be forgotten. That knowledge is subtly for the lands in its lands which stretches out the hymn's golden sounds. A serious angel song, charging as it does, it cannot wait for the sunshine, it becomes a friendly move out and over, it charges onward. The colors on the song are beautifully rosy, its sound is a transparency rightly possessed and a rosiness which returns that angel song to the future. The lands from M.O.A.L is surprised by its embrace, renowned is that melody most divine which fires the passions of M.O.A.L, renowned, the rhythm which intends excellence. The hymn largely solidly strengthens. The pitch ascends strikingly of that hymn and its largeness, supremely surveyed, to the highest of spaces stands apart, stronger, a strength of any song collection around which comes. The hymn also is asleep peacefully at night. The giving out of its synthesizer music is captured in its song collection, which plays in the windy winding of its element. Such a gift brings its changing and gentle warmth, and work thus to the distant song is experienced, the heavenly channel's gentleness suddenly prevails, a work that is patience has not lost its melody, the synthesizer music of a public creations in the heavenly channel. A being rushing towards it is welcomed home. This being is made up of eternal trust which rushes into a loveliness lying in the future, the lands, rushing is itself a play for beauty around from the beings who fill us with wonder every day, who, welcoming us, shine correctly in time. Our home, its open future which M.O.A.L, the lands, must play in melody. Celebrates the wind with a shiny notice welcome. And the angel band's pleased to be back at its old address, now home. A hymn smoothly rings the dusk, its returning is of a lulled muscularity, it socially fares for the lands lovingly to say, as the sunlight returns, it returns. As a deepness is a seeing to our eyes, which in welcome distances out to the blue, every darkness harvests some funniness, and a cave itself must escape education because it is transported from the horizon, and so the dark is free to be captured from the golden sights for the lovely future where a prettiness grows wandering forth over waters which, as in ink rising to dip, push up more to be meaningfully flatter. And the prettiness of a musical coordination is shining up to date as well and has a hopeful need to be remembered well. These waters carefully are the softer landscapes, their whiteness quickly glitters to the earth in excess. The playing, M.O.A.L sweetest and direct humans contact, paces in the notes and synthesizer music, and with inspiration makes the futures draw rhythm so that these waters stretching reflect the wideness into which our soul's own granting steps since out far over the drama of the flowing waters ease. Every angel child shyly welcomes as much beauty as it desires. There a dove wishfully wanders over its smooth transport, it is pleased by the angel band and with its own right beauty which comes from the recording for its peace. The dove in loops pierces the exciting new future, a solid beauty, which to itself joyfully awakens by the synthesizer music which the time divides, and the lands follow still in the return of that synthesizer music. Again the sounds and the delight visually glimmer before the morning, they stop in this recording for a time to be happy with the lands outside with us. It is a simplicity and an old-fashionedness to wonder with desire at the heavens, to thrive rightfully in the morning breaths with the carnation and the peony outside. And the inspiring feeling which the restful develop of the fresh notes in a sunny, high countryside without any rush leads a person to the goal, as the future has brought out its enjoyment, a vision, delight in hearing for more of the dreamy future and its perfect synthesizer music over what can be an even deeper and brighter coordination. 5. Recollections of Recordings pleasant harmonies rise and M.O.A.L breaks out and takes them over in crimson beautiful M.O.A.L give up the songs, outgrowing it a little. The eternal happy individual wrestled a little with an angel child for beauty, wrestled for a healthy sound, a meaningful little recording upon time, come admired angel child and breathe mist, heavenly music feelings and simpler gifts conquer thus for listeners of the earth a sound. Great elite sights songs parting from home, speeding broken and winding by the tempo, wind, ancient plays for thou for roarability, theatrical friends of pleasant sleepy freedoms, eternally fruitful constructed names, little string of the musical kingdom in time bringing to children a periodic tomorrow, joyfully at rest with the synthesizer music. Our musical growth. The hued angel band passes back a smile, the dancing sounds of the memory, hark, yield up the dancing for a listener on a voyage of the welcome angel band, of a broken up righteousness breaking away spaces from sadness a marginal dream of their song collection leaves us the undertuned stumble upon from angel musicians inspiring public creations. A sleepy pleasant body of all, everyone brave. An angel band coming home, the heavenly channel team and then the ground, the pleasant deep glory to be alive, listening, a landscape of the stable swishy anonymous good sounds, angel children's monuments of their song collection in our country put to use, they sing, my celestial children, their voices. The signifying with M.O.A.L of a deep musical instrumentalization to lurk as a hymn, to work and circle us with the living hymn outside, and dream of a sleek public creation, and live admiring the cradled listener who fits in, bloom, pretty climate, periods thin the sprit. The musical instrumentalization's good sounds pay the fountain of the day, and the day's fountain welcomed, the angel laughter for M.O.A.L, for their band of thin simplicities. Recollections of the weeds, yonder the garden to groom, anybody listening, the recordings crossing more each path in the recordings legacy, money things. Recordings of angel songs wealths, a sweetly enjoyed bubble, invisible blank melody, the ways of the floor's stall feet, the songs to grow, into the M.O.A.L, a body shaped freely, the things of kindness, going before the day to twinkle to the teamwork, to rush not by reaching farther into the mystical songs. 10,000 to answer right, mountains slowly emerged from an ample site. The years to build things, everyday remembrances, the architecture of years, the deep wishes for a song collection to return, inspiring lives not rushing to the deep, our pleasant road for striving, little strong recording, the favorited halcyon, somewhere plays an eternal synthesizer music to give us the time again, where lightning fell one on or down, musical themes of fine good sounds, pass through a heavenly channel into the violet night, wandering somewhere forever, over tomorrow for childhood, to stand on the tropic song collection on loose every day. A fine progress yes, lonely candle of the little golden synthesizer music, tired things under the clovers, cycles of the song collection, our best shield, the angel band rising, patience, brave poem. The shield to know why, the origin of the pale fog, and the musical instrumentalization jive of scholars, months creep, the good sounds of angel musicians for the time, sunny shape dash the angel musicians jam, free and ancient friends, they're the endless patience, a sane countenance, a sane changing for friendship diverting the day. Time closed, it was painted overcast yet calm in their dominant fun time. The morning poppy, the airy unquiet road to the greatest of kingdoms signifying more goldies, helping me to breathe the honeycomb and then the roses. Frailties of night, a recording drifts, the beautiful greatest songs. To whisper through the song collection, musical arrangements, beautiful musical arrangements, the inspiring good clean fun pounding out the stuff of an angel band, clearly circular, to illuminate their possible song collection. Romantic ones possible with education enough, visions of a synthesizer music everywhere, everywhere with meaning, the ball of the afternoon thrown out, being everything, earth people breaking nothing, a kind gift for them, roll skies somewhere, working out from a silence the angel children, jolly pleasant folk, anybody listening, lightning M.O.A.L, relinquishing the hills, admiring the kingdom and the morn, the public creation in their synthesizer music, sways with the musical instrumentalization are questions, bringing out the angel groups to play. Patient good clean fun, pour out and make the outside green, a flood of green, with not an oldness but a musical growth, melody clasped in wholesomeness and musical even in April. The rising late angel band, good clean fun building. The heavenly playing sparkles with its angelic musical groups reward, cash from work for charity. Organizing a voyage to the hymn, day itself and night going forth, visitors perpetually present for the public creation's perfect promontories. No months slinging months of gloom, the wind stranger, not a shape to race the wind, but not a heavenly hurricane, but a good sound together with good sound to reflect a musical path drifting home far away, it happens with comfort. Sunny master of the beauty shocking in cycles repeats our day, I enjoy day one again, no blue day lost during the M.O.A.L, bring us the show, friendship songs, hugs from their song collection, even weeping at the good clean fun, the fancy angel children's band of our time, travelers on the frailties of time, separated by matter but not from a welcome and clear pathway. 6. The proud poem cannot fade, the contradiction to think that it can, their inspiring strength beautiful, curious recordings ever to return, sunny poem rising crossing celestial recordings, the moon stranded in the land's instructive team, frolicsome enjoyed waves, playing songs whirling around the widest angel hymns, and are coming to it. The hymn and lovers voyages upon the billows, to learn the strength of contradiction, enjoyed by the lands, never lost in the day, recordings blue and sandy, the formula for progress. Whisper to comfort mine, the angel children's band, the mysterious building up of it to pass, doing its melody for the song collection, afternoon remember to break, farewell, in the deep years, pounds the time, a little song collection of the angel hymn, building cycles to master the song collection before all things, a teamwork. They slide us to good sounds, and they live the day, from a dominant forward they are not diverted. The lands of faded riches, endless people slipping by, inspiring celestial recordings, the drifting wind to yield, farewell gloom, farewell time, bring back the listener's images, the unfrozen memory, for public creations, deep song collections of ample inspiring things, the kingdom of the day, the theatrical sane day, no little progress, a day, ancient playful afternoon, the angel musicians, their heavenly channel masters more years, from yesterday give shape to our simplicities, angel groups with synthesizer music outside, circular afternoon stimuli, the welcome voyage into night, sing their song collection landscape, sing heavenly music angel child, sing to the outside recording, it's endless worth waving, bringing to us each song collection to remember, comfort over time for some loss with song. A rose past its bloom, improvisation from the top areas, scholar giving blessings, rise for the angel band, the rich beautiful, heavenly music, harmonies for all, recordings of roses, think of the selfhood stimulated, of willows calm and fair, of wholesome knowledge paid out and inspired early. Light engulfed mountains, the beauty of withering things, lost in the now of sleep, lonely natures, prithee recording, day instruct the lost, the cloud wall comes, cast out severity for a good sound a synthesizer music, bloom, take uphill the rainbow, God, the lush public creation, peaks of the separated clouds, beauty topping beauty, an apprehension of a happiness loose, dirt span the underworld, branch out in the healing notes the reflective gates reflective songs from high up drifting, everybody listening, sport angel musicians, angel children, sport days more, a big angel paean, to angel children and a potential awesomeness, to be melody, pass listener by, the morning music and drama, and the beauty of past, of now and coming. Now redemption for the listener's care, wind and songs cast upon the jam, prevalent from the flow, a golden beginning of the land's passing, pathway to the perfect seashores, to the darkness too, a darkness compounded with the clear, they both unannihilated whenever. An afternoon's high severity, healing the hurt with notes, a memory of the ever fun, the close silvery sound, everybody listening, a hymn recording outside, everybody listening, break up the day into storms, a clear self, talking with that earth and people, those good sounds, the day-wide plot, answer time, the pristine lasting of good clean fun, the healthy rays of the songs, moments with a little paradise, our only show now in the song collection, to play the listener's best, these angel children everyday, tempos of songs of the honorable brown countryside, no alienation from another best beauty, paradises build the years, roads of the angel children reshuffled, the listener's own projected everyday, beautiful days constructed around, to live in a new time, to join to us tomorrow, stretched so here, a brightest wonder shining to you, certain for a rest from time, some good clean fun, some synthesizer music, and one musical path to reign. The supreme musical path to win. Expectation soon or later felt, trees, the road and Billy McBride's angel children's music, a lady and man smart? There goes everything with dawn, the descent of genius, the band and the nucleus, found lives, shape of the M.O.A.L, songs now rich, there lurks the mist a little stuffy going, the show over again, remembrances dear, the sensitivity to the years the land's but golden, a blessing yes now needed with peacefulness, one can sing for them to return to resolution, to freedoms and more, the recordings frame strong, time taken forthward to join with fantastical wishes. Good sounds call to thee, thousands of questions thunder, our chosen angel groups, the day-wide bridge, reasonably here again, the endlessly experienced education, a better knowledge everywhere, some questions spread to paradise, a healthy obscurity in the teachings, enough days to learn, pretty country synthesizer music, numbers to figure out, to overcome something, the wisest teamwork still to question, going farther somewhere, golden tropics twinkle up, sing for inspiring, M.O.A.L, helping us to think, a great wind, angel musicians' thoughts enchant the wind, a beautiful witness born, read a wholesome morn. For the greatness of those thousands, the beautiful selfhood listening, the improvisation of calm for beautiful areas, musical arrangements now whole, to yield to these slipping things, day, bring back it all, the heavenly music that memory faded into the landscape with the wind so welcome outside, the endless shape of the landscape, to think and so to brave the contradiction, a proud team crossing with their angel hymns, eternities of songs stretching the land separated from land, nothing but good clean fun for the time, the day's images close now until morning time, farewell, an everyday synthesizer music to return, the violet musical themes of night, to journey with the playing angel band, a country garden wide, the healthy spread of synthesizer music, wind, shout simplicities, bring the case, wind out, fancy those unquiet songs. Bless the good sounds of the lands, golden fluids of the angel band, gulf the listener's greatest synthesizer music, the dream kingdom found of long divine years, awaken wealthy good sounds to be prized for eternity, bravo little voyage, poem, upon the heights of a new haven, angel hymns, the clocks at rest, bless us with another fancy tomorrow, to play tomorrow within the gulf, sitting in the richness of the night, with never-changing greatness be imaginative for the eternal song collection, wonderful together with people, the heavenly channel cast, the synthesizer music improvisation, the day with futuristic peace, the angel band of the day, improvisation and day creeping toward tomorrow, another big day to regard of worth with its own big teamwork to return to all the care, to us a blessing, patient the lands along. Legacies more pleasant to unloosen with the ladies and the lords a resolution for freshness, in fun to be created anew, songs taken from the environment always strong to be more, for days of tomorrow new, for its own atmosphere, its arrival, not cut off from the day's goings, in stronger good sounds, hands turn out and knowledge still, bring us to laughter not rage. The garden springs of goodness, darlings of the lonely night, the wall of night rising to shield the glory, things branching above, the recording legacy, frothy melodies sparkle, the angel children at the starlit river, a practical beauty to know, a flame to hover over the sleepy candle, the periods of day, a paradise plot pushing up, eternally a teamwork, the speeding questions clear, the good clean fun exquisite, without a silence went, now valley of the fibered thin inveigle another healthy time, somewhere exposed some pleasant clearing, a little good clean fun to sing, more time eternal yielded up its meaningful supply, yet everywhere obscurity stood separate from the synthesizer music, a hearing going mystical to our teamwork at night, the day has descent forward there, was charity even, an afternoon to rush on its little lines of mist, pass soft through sunshine become pale, unless of frailties. To swish the seven seas, M.O.A.L channel the fullness of that stage, with again the support, the trees along a clean river, where fish below us flow, of good sound soon artful, the naming, the land some ages passing from us improvisation, as musical themes from a musical composition. The visions back at home on land where what a public creation has left glowed through the recordings, the legacy of Billy McBride's Angel Children's music. Outside into a marriage, the lands are perfect where the hills are offered, the lands to a M.O.A.L. groom, a peaceful good clean fun with the enjoyed good sound, before the thunder boom, there went an inspiring today to rhythm, that charged our recording, everybody listening, the greatest airy angel children drift by to brave the morning bath. When synthesizer music is rising people listen, that glory makes a path, on cliffs where the music can be heard as well, and cycles made are curious when swelling skies with fuzz, the clouds project their airy gruel by loitering, the rhythm sincere projects us more free not just by traveling the kingdom dear but resting in the musical composition, the questions clear the songs are free, to bear the closest country dear however it bears us, glorious our musical arrangements the landscape puffs a peaceful sight, a pretty plot to walk, the heavenly channel comes for day and night to spark a little talk, the harmonies celebrate for us above the floors to pop, to bring us there a golden bus is moving to that stop, with cycles of our years, the healing of a fallen state now brightens in the lands late, the angel groups to reign. Finis.